Mrs. May gave a speech on Friday that made clearer the government's position on its future relationship with the bloc after Brexit. During her address, the Prime Minister said she wanted the best free trade agreement in the world and expressly rejected a deal similar to Canada's, which removes tariffs on many products and provides increased market access. But as talks get underway this week, EU negotiators want to focus on just that, arguing it is the best option if Britain leaves the customs union and single market. A source told the Telegraph the message will be, "This is what is feasible given the UK's stated red lines. But should those evolve, so would the available options." Getty. Theresa May is under pressure from Brussels, EU and UK. Officials are expected to discuss Mrs. May's proposals from today to Wednesday in Brussels. Her speech sent a blunt message to Brussels that the EU must face hard facts and resolve tensions in its own stance if it is to help deliver the best outcome for both sides. She dismissed the Commission's insistence that it would not allow cherry-picking of rights and obligations, insisting that this was a part of any trade negotiation, and she rejected Chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier's argument that her red lines on quitting the single market, customs union and European Court of Justice have left only the option of a Canada-style free trade agreement. Instead, she insisted Brussels needs to look beyond the precedents and find a new balance. Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt further outlined the position, telling the BBC, "Lots of people were saying this simply isn't possible, and she has explained how it is possible. It's through having a pragmatic alignment of our regulations, as she said, that will be of substantially the same high standards as in European countries, but on a voluntary basis, so that we will agree to make sure our regulations are of similar standards so that you can have that frictionless trade." Getty. Theresa May doesn't want a Canada-style deal, but Parliament would always have the final say, and if it wanted to change that and have less market access as a result, that is a trade-off that we would be empowered to make because the sovereignty would reside with Parliament. The Health Secretary gave the example of the pharmaceutical industry to illustrate how the plan could work, with the UK paying to be an associate member of the European Medicines Agency and blurring Mrs. May's red line on not accepting ECJ jurisdiction to ensure the sector remains wholly integrated across the continent. Mr. Hunt admitted the speech showed Brexit would be incredibly complex and incredibly challenging, but insisted there were still big opportunities and very exciting possibilities for Britain. Getty. Brexit negotiations begin again this month. It is possible to have that frictionless trade that we all want, that prosperous economy, at the same time as getting back control of our destiny, he said. EU Chief Negotiator Michel Barnier welcomed Mrs. May's speech for offering clarity on the UK's aims and a recognition that there would be trade-offs, but German MEP Manfred Weber, an ally of Chancellor Angela Merkel and leader of the centre-right EPP grouping in the European Parliament, said, "I don't see how we could reach an agreement on Brexit if the UK government continues to bury its head in the sand like this."